evening, everyone. Welcome back to Discord and Dragons. We took last Monday off because I was traveling and we had a chill stream with friends. This week, we are back in the saddle. We have wonderful guests lined up. I have wonderful guests lined up for you tonight. We will be discussing some things in the news that perhaps you have not heard about. I, in general, like to avoid the big thing, so we won't be talking about the Israel mess and all of that shit tonight. I am sick and tired of hearing about that everywhere I turn. So I wanted to not include that in my stream tonight, but we will be talking about some geopolitical stuff. Also, my schedule is open for July because of people traveling and things going on in the summer. It's pretty thin for scheduling higher profile guests. So if any of you who listen to this that know someone who would want to come on Discord at Dragons, or if you yourself would like to be on and be a panelist, let me know and I'll try to squeeze you in July. I do have a lot of feelers out right now for people who either haven't been on in a long time or who haven't been on yet. So we'll try to get some people in here for July. That being said, let's bring on our wonderful guests for this evening, starting with Mr. Christopher Evrad, back with us again. Welcome, sir.
Hello. Bonjour.
Hello, hello. We also have Trym's Artshack with us, pulling himself away from the plastic crack to be with us once again.
Sorry, I just started. I can't stop it. Hello, by the way.
We have Ginger Monster, my good buddy. How you doing tonight, Ginger?
Hello, everybody. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Glad you could make it, sir. And 3 of 12, my loyal co-host. Welcome, sir. Glad you're here tonight as well.
Yes, you had to peel me away working on a resurrected BTX motherboard.
Oh, well, I'm glad that you took time away from your passion to be with us tonight. I see we have many of our usuals in chat. We have Ardent Party at the helm, as well as Total Blackout Painting being the mods. We have the Shade Master, also known as Carnal Conservative, with us tonight. Bass, Vorpal, Big O's. Let's see. We got Dissident Knight with us as well. Lots of people in YouTube chat already. We have Ben and Violence is Life over in the Rumble chat already, and there's several people over there who aren't talking yet. Good to see everyone tonight. So we have all regulars. We will go ahead and start with the regular view. We will bring up the branding for the evening. Boop. There we go. Now tonight, do I have a volunteer who would like to be party leader to answer the Dragon's questions about Clown World news?
I volunteer Trym.
All right, that sounds good to me.
I also volunteer Trym.
All right, that sounds good. Trym,
I graciously accept this position.
Trym, you are the party leader tonight, so let's go ahead and have a look at the topics tonight. The red dragon has Facing the Music. The green dragon has An Ocean of Possibilities. The black dragon has Afraid or Confident. The white dragon has Based Tennessee. That's the state I live in America. And the blue dragon has Think of the Children. So obviously, these topics do not. These topic titles don't exactly tell you what the news articles or videos will be. That's part of the fun of the show. But Mr. Trym, since you are the party leader, you get to decide which dragon that we choose to talk about first, or you can nominate a party member to choose the next dragon. And whoever chooses the dragon is the first one who has to answer the dragon's question before it opens up to general discussion. Mr. Trym, the leader scepter is in your hands. What will be first?
Well, since I've been given this position, I shall take the first choice. And I do like the idea of Base Tennessee, so I'm going white.
Okay, good choice, good choice. I'm very proud of my state because we have many based politicians here. This one is Andy Ogles. He's not the rep of my district, but he's not far. TN Congressman Andy Ogles says that his Assimilation Act would be the largest immigration reform in U.S. history. During a taping of the new long-form podcast, Ogles outlined key elements of the legislation and defended his broader push for stricter immigration controls. He described the bill as a large-scale reform effort. Quote, "It's a couple hundred pages," Ogles said of the bill, adding that it would represent the largest overhaul of our immigration system. The Tennessee congressman explained how this proposed legislation would dismantle the framework established under the Hart-Celler Act of 1965, which is very similar to the one that went in under Thatcher, stating that it would take the Hart-Celler Act of 1965 and throw away every element of it. The Hart-Celler Act of 1965, as described by the Center of for Immigration Studies, eliminated a long-standing system that favored immigrants from certain countries and replaced it with one that prioritized family connections and job skills. While intended to make immigration policy fairer, the law ultimately led to high levels of immigration than expected and significantly reshaped the nation's population. Ogles argued that both political parties recognize flaws in the current immigration system, noting Republicans and Democrats across the spectrum all will say that the immigration process is broken. He criticized the current immigration patterns and outcomes, particularly focusing on refugee and migrant populations. We aren't getting their best and brightest, he said. We're getting the folks that don't want to work. We're getting the folks who, quite frankly, are the dregs of the respective societies they come from. He cited welfare usage among certain immigrant groups as justification for the reform, adding, "Enough is enough. We should have the right to decide who comes in." Ogles said that his Assimilation Act of 2026 would eliminate several existing immigration pathways, including family-based migration and employment visas. He went on to say that he wants to end chain migration entirely and that the H-1B visa is a scam, which he claimed is putting American workers out of work and is rife with abuse and fraud. That's true, by the way. Furthermore, Ogles said that his bill would also introduce a stricter screening process. It would allow us to actually vet people, he said, including background checks, character, and to make sure that when we get there, that when they get here, they can provide for themselves. He added that the goal to ensure immigrants are not going to end up on welfare and are only here for the right reasons. That is the goal of his reform. Ogles expressed optimism about the bill's chances in the U.S. House of Representatives, stating, "I think we actually have a huge opportunity to pass it in the House." However, he acknowledged the uncertainty in the Senate, particularly due to the filibuster. The Senate is the bigger question, he said. If they nuke the filibuster, they get back to a simple majority and can pass my legislation overhaul, which protects Americans. Now, just to let you know how based this guy is, I pulled up a couple of things about it. Excuse me. Let's see. There we go. Sorry, I got a message from 3 of 12. He had a brownout. He'll be back when he can. All right. Here's a Facebook
the Browns.
Damn Browns. Here's a post from the congressman. America must reject replacement migration. My Assimilation Act stands against the foreign ideologies, failed open border policies, and cultural surrender that has devastated the UK and much of Europe. We will not let that happen here. Here's another post of his. Proud to be on a list of immigration reducers, America first. So he's a congressman from my state that boldly proclaims to be America first. By the way, he is not a MAGA-tard. He, of course, supports many things that Trump and MAGA has done, but he is not a MAGA-tard. And last but not least, GOP congressman blames rogue staffer for posting homosexuality has no place in America from his account to kick off Pride Month. This is funny because he actually said this in his office, and a staffer quoted him on his Twitter account, and he's like, "No, don't do that. That's too edgy for Twitter. Take that down." But he actually did say this.
Oh, it's beautiful. Before you continue with the dragon, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Can I borrow this guy for a couple of years in Norway?
I wish we had more of him. Oh, hey, we have Captain Corgi with us on Rumble now. Good to see you, Captain Corgi. All right, let's go ahead now and move to the White Dragon, which is this beautiful lady here. The white with us tonight is the matron of a small clan of whites who steward a mostly unpopulated Arctic world rich in mineral resources. So it affords her a great deal of time to study other cultures and worlds. She likes Earth, but sees that we are suffering from severe issues, especially in regards to rotten rulers who sell out their own people. While we all agree mass migration is destructive, a certain level of immigration and integration is natural. So that's what her question is about tonight, which goes along with the theme that Congressman Ogles puts forward. This comes to you first, Trym. Assuming that your country was in a healthy state with good leaders and a cohesive host population, What do you think should be required of those who wish to truly immigrate and integrate into your country?
Well, yeah, with those, if in that positive sense there, I would go with essentially what I kind of always have demanded. They need to learn the language properly and speak it when in public, to the point where it's like, if I go to England, I'll start speaking English in my own home, kind of thing. All right.
Gotcha.
They'll make effort to learn history. They will not be a net loss. They will be a net benefit in that they'll get a job and they'll pay their taxes properly, contribute basically, and they will help in just making sure that the unwanted parts of the outside doesn't stay. Essentially, they'll integrate as well as they can, because I have several friends who come from like Venezuela, Korea, who the only way you can tell they're not Norwegian is by the fact that they just have this slight look to them.
Okay.
If those kind of comments that you just made, if a British person were to make them within Britain, they would be branded a horrific racist and probably thrown in jail.
Yeah, they might get done for hate speech if they said that.
Please help.
I'm so sorry. And by the way, if I said this crap in Oslo, I would suffer the same fate. Believe me, the only difference between Keir Starmer and Jonas Gahr Støre is 10 years.
Yeah, we are leading the race to that bottom, aren't we?
Yeah, and we're following you guys. Send help.
Well, so who wants to take this next? Anybody else have something?
I mean, yes, I think I have plenty.
Chris spoke first. Let's hear him.
Okay, you go ahead.
For me, honestly, it goes along what Trym said, but it's all about culture. Like, let's say I go to South or Central America. Of course, I will have to speak the language, but I will also need to accommodate myself to the food, to I don't know, some festivities around there, or like the way they handle jobs and stuff like that. So it's all about culture. It's not just the language. It's not just like what you brought to the country, even though that's of course a very good thing to do. But you will at least, very least, and I put the bar very low, show interest in the country and the culture. Speaking a tiny bit of myself, you know that very well, yes, that if I could, I will go live in the US, and of course I will try my best to pass myself, at least as an American, at least try a bit. And even that very low bar, like 90% of the migrants today don't do that. Trym is from Scandinavia, and I'm sure you know that more than me, Trym, but the number of people that migrate to Scandinavia and always complain about the food, like, why the fuck do you go there? What did you expect?
Right.
It's like going in the very tippy top of the North Norway. You told me about it, Trym, and complain about the cold. Like, why? How?
Yeah. But the thing is, the people who complain about proper Norwegian food haven't tasted proper Norwegian food.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. But I hate it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
but I agree.
A friend of me
agree.
said
The cultural adaptation is important.
Yeah. A friend of me told me, he's in France, so he's very knowledgeable about that. He said, if you don't try to assimilate yourself to the country you go, it's the catapult or the guillotine. One of the two.
Yes.
Wonderfully based.
Yeah, so I think honestly, it's a matter of willingness, at least, to try to assimilate. Like, how many people go to I don't know, like the Middle East for vacation, or like Asia, and don't try to follow the code of the etiquette or the social conduct of the country. You don't do that very much up there. Like, I don't know how many people can go to China, or I don't know, like Cambodia, and don't try to assimilate themselves, they will be stopped very quickly.
So I have my own set of requirements for what I think would be a reasonable immigration policy. And this is going to sound like a joke, but it's not a joke. No Muslims, no Jews, no penises.
No, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Have you
Acceptable.
watched
This is
the movie
acceptable.
Ali G?
Oh, that movie's hilarious. I remember that movie. Fucking hate Sacha Baron Cohen though now, but that was a
Just-
funny movie back in the day.
I cannot stress just how important it is that you recognize that no Muslims, no Jews, no penis will eliminate basically everybody that could cause problems.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yep.
I think those rules iterated on the naturalization process we already have would
Yeah.
basically solve 99.9% of immigration problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially the part with you need to enforce that they have no allegiance to any other country. Dual citizenship needs to be illegal.
Especially incompatible
Oh, yeah.
religions.
Yes, especially
I-
incompatible religions.
Mm,
I'm less
I-
strong. I'm less concerned about the race, especially if they're like, I don't know, like Mediterranean or even Arabic.
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
they have the right religion.
Compatible racial phenotypes are
Like
or
Coptics,
should
get
be
the
on
fuck
the
in
table.
here.
I agree. Like
Coptic
basically,
bros, get in here.
basically no African, no Jeet, no like Islanders or Abos and shit. Like
Yeah.
if you want
I
immigrants
will say,
and they're not going to be European descent, they should be European adjacent, like Persian or Middle Eastern or I mean
Japanese
Mediterranean.
and Korean too.
Yeah,
Japanese and Korean are acceptable.
maybe less
like,
the Korean.
people who have the capacity for coming from people who actually generate high culture. So like basically those racial groups should be the only ones we even consider, and all the other ones are just
now,
I'm-
in regards to what Three just said, there is another aspect to that as well. I would say that in order for you to ever be given British citizenship, you must renounce citizenship to your previous place of origin.
That should go
Oh,
without
yeah.
saying everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's already required technically, but we just don't enforce it.
yeah.
We should enforce it because
Well, like
it
we've talked
only
about many
stands to
times on
reason
this
that
channel,
if you're
Three,
going-
America has good laws. They just need to be enforced by people
Mhm.
and get rid of all the corrupt pieces of shit that skirt the law. Like we
Yes, it's-
have the
Yeah.
we have the laws and legislation we need. It just needs to be enforced by people with balls to do it.
It's the reason why we needed to be broken in the first place.
Yeah, I agree with Julian in the chat. I also think dual citizenship should not be allowed.
Yeah.
And
I don't like dual
what's
citizenship.
the thing again? Like the right of soil or something? I don't know the translation in English. It's something called in French le droit du sol, which properly mean right of soil, something like that. And it means that if you're born in a country, even though your mother is there illegally or something, you technically have the nationality or the citizenship of the country you're born in.
yeah.
You mean birthright citizenship?
birthright
No.
citizenship.
See,
Yeah,
that comes from a bad interpretation of the 14th Amendment. It doesn't say
Yes,
anything
correct.
like that in there.
yeah, that's just
Yeah,
that's
but like in Europe, it's something.
yeah. Well, that needs to go as well. None of this. You get citizenship just because you're born here. Shit, like none of that.
Anchor
Three,
base is
12,
something I don't like.
312.
But
You had
there's
stuff
one
to say.
thing. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead,
That,
Trim. Sorry.
that was what I had to say. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Trim.
It's basically that immigrants. I don't want immigrants marrying immigrants. If they're integrating, they should marry in or make families with people who are there. Like for example, both my Venezuelan and Korean friend have Norwegian spouses.
Yeah. That used to be enforced by like every country back in the day, like before the modern era, is since immigration was so minuscule, we didn't have to worry about racial degradation and stuff on a mass scale. So if like a person wanted to immigrate to Japan, it was heavily socially enforced. They had to take a Japanese wife, for example. So it's like that kind of integration, forced integration, used to be common. And unfortunately, that's gone now, too. Not that I'm encouraging race mixing in the modern era. I'm certainly not. But I'm just saying that was something that used to be enforced. Is it's expected of you, heavily expected of you, not to bring in foreigners as family. They wanted you to take a local spouse and make a family with that person.
Yeah. I'm not encouraging mud sharks. I'm just saying that which can be blended should be blended.
Yeah, another thing that I think would be a healthy immigration policy is immigrants don't get full citizenship. If a person, let's say, in an ideal future, right? Somebody from, let's pick a place. Let's say somewhere compatible. Belgium. Let's say that a Belgian wanted to immigrate to America, sever ties to Belgium, and live here forever. Okay, that's fine. If that person meets all the criteria, that person's not a net negative, it's all good. I don't think that person should ever obtain actual citizenship. I think that there should be 3 steps of citizenship. And the second step would be for that person's children, if he or she decides to have children here. And then those people's children, so the grandchildren of the immigrant, would be the only ones who could actually have proper citizenship. And there would have to be parameters on that as well. Like if you give citizenship to people who intermarry into your host population, you should have some kind of probationary citizenship steps, so you don't have the problem of people moving in, getting full citizenship, and then having all the rights and privileges that come along with that. I think that that's a good idea, and I think that's how it should. I think that's how it should work. What do you guys think about that?
I agree. Like a 3-generation kind of thing, right? A immigrant, even if he's fully integrated, should not have the right to vote.
Yeah.
Though, honestly, when it comes to voting, I have very different views on it.
Right. Like we can talk about suffrage and all that. Like, I don't like universal suffrage in general. I don't like mass democracy. I like the original American system, which is a blend of a republic system and local democratic process. I think that is healthy and good. I'm an Anglo from America, so I like that system. It calls to me as a fair balance of what is just and what is functional. And I know 3 and 12 and I have talked about this several times. He agrees with me too.
Yes.
I don't think that every Tom, Dick, and Harry should vote on literally everything. I think that's moronic. It's stupid, and it's ripe for exploitation. And it was even implemented by people who wanted to exploit people who had proper authority. So that's out. So if we lived in an ideal country where things worked the way they were supposed to, you wouldn't have to worry as much about immigrants having mass voting power in an ideal situation. Like, I think people should only have a democratic vote in their literal community local to where they live. I think that's the only place that every Tom, Dick, and Harry should have a say. Like going to the town hall and being like, I don't like what you did with that stoplight. I think it shouldn't be there. Like that kind of shit. Like, I don't think that, Cletus that lives out in the holler with me, who owns pigs and doesn't know shit, I don't think that he should vote on federal affairs. I don't think he has the prerequisite experience and knowledge. I don't want him casting his vote on that stuff. I want us to, have local elections where we pick the best and smartest men of our area who go to have political meetings with other best and brightest men of their local areas. And then those people, those representatives together, decide how the state should function in relation to other states. That's why I think that we should go back to these United States of America, not the United States of America. I like us being more like a Europe than a giant super country that's basically all the same. I don't think that's near as functional. I don't like that.
Yes, the process that the Constitution actually intended.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I vote for Cletus for the best moonshine in the country.
That's right. You go to talk to Cletus about pigs and moonshine. You don't go to him to talk about geopolitics.
Agreed.
No, but I think honestly that I'm not sure about the never being able to get a citizenship or something, but at least like a trial period or like a full-on exam or something, and like
yes, the naturalization process. We already have that.
Yeah, but more enforced. Again, like you said, that you have good laws and stuff, but sometimes it's not properly enforced. Like
Yeah.
it's a bit too lenient.
If you
Yeah.
have an American citizenship, any other passport is invalid, and
Yeah, I
and
think
we need to get other nations to enforce that as well.
Indeed. And when it comes to the Christopher situation, like, of course, I like him. And if, we know that he's productive, he's not a drain, he's not an asshole. If he wants to be American and be here, that's cool. The first stage of his citizenship would basically guarantee him legal rights and stuff like that. He's not like, a stepped on, untouchable class of dreg, but he wouldn't have certain, like, he couldn't cast local vote. He wouldn't have the ability to run for public office, that kind of thing. But other than that, he would have all of the like legal rights and protections that I would versus regular stuff like crime and housing, home defense, that kind of thing. Like, I don't have any problem with
reasonable.
I don't have any problem with the first stage of citizenship having those basic things, because remember, this is an ideal hypothetical. This is not talking about what we all have now. What we have now is trash. But in an ideal situation, I think that's a reasonable way to handle immigration.
Honestly, the more you talk about it, the more like the system of Starship Troopers come to mind. Like what's the service guarantee citizenship, something like that.
Yeah, the Heinlein Libertopia model. It's not bad. It's not bad. It has a few flaws, but
it can definitely work for migrants. Honestly. Like, prove that you can be a positive, or like have some actual input and something of value to share to the country you go to.
Yeah.
Don't be a net drain, basically.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the subtle nuance is that I totally get that people flee some place to go to have a better life. Like, the American dream is no joke. And Europe also, but it's about show interest in the culture, at least try to integrate, to live among peers, to show proof of your willingness to integrate to a new place.
Yes,
indeed.
So when I immigrate to Tennessee,
ideals.
I'm going to become a proper Tennessean.
All right, you'll have to have moonshine and marry one of us.
Sounds good to me.
I'll let you up with Cletus.
Yeah, and help Cletus with his pigs.
Bacon and moonshine, the true life, true American dream.
That's right. Now, Trym, I think you'd fit right in where I live. I think people would like you, and you'd like how chill and relaxed things are around here. And where I live is
apparently even I would fit in over there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think you would too. Like, where I live it's very Southern Christian. It's very boring as far as like we don't have any like big cinema or art stuff. I live like a 20 or 30-minute drive from basically anything that isn't just homes, churches, and farms. And you know what? I used to not like that when I was young, but I love it now, and I'm glad that I live where I live. I'm glad I'm from here.
You should all listen to or watch the working video of Ye's. Every single episode is welcome to the new Tennessee Shire.
I'm glad you like him, Chris. I'm glad you like him. So anything else you guys want to talk about on the topic, or shall we move on?
I think I don't have anything to add on this one. I think everything's been covered quite nicely.
Sounds good. Oh, hi, Bartholomew. Glad to hear you. So I have on the marquee, I would deeply appreciate it if you would share some of your hard-earned dollars with me, especially not just because I don't make much money, and this is the primary source of how I make money these days, but the Steam Summer Sale is upcoming. And if you would like to help me buy a few video games, throw me a 10 or a 20 and say, hey, Yiz, this is earmarked for video games, and I'll make sure to buy something that I play on the channel for you guys. So there's that. So let's go ahead and check Cash App and see if there's anything over on Cash App, because I need to read something that
crack. I can't really afford a Steam. I'm already on plastic crack. I can't afford a Steam Summer Sale too.
Over on Cash App, we had one that came in at the very end of the stream last week that I did from our friend Shelly, who lives up in Pennsylvania. Shelly says for $25. Thank you, Shelly. She said, hello, good to catch you and hope that you're well. Well, thank you, Shelly. I know that this is late. Your Cash App came in right as I was ending the stream last week, so I couldn't read it out last week. So hopefully you're listening this week. Thank you very much for your dollars, sister. I really appreciate it. So let me go and check the other sites now. And reminder, of course, Entropy sadly is no more. So now I use Buy Me a Coffee instead. That is the pinned comment that you can see in the chat. And
What happened to Entropy?
It's a long story, but
Oh.
man, PayPal's just not letting me log in. What the hell? Every time I enter a password and press login, it just refreshes the page. Let me kill that tab. Let me try that again. Let's try that again. How about now? Will you work now? It does. All I had to do was kill the tab. Very good. Okay. And nothing new showing up on PayPal yet either. So we are good.
Press
Oh, wait,
F5.
no. I misspoke. Something did come in on PayPal just now. It is... Oh, it's our good friend Dawn Browning. Dawn Browning sends $20 US. Thank you so much, Dawn. Thank you. She sends 5 white hearts, one for each of us. Thank you very much, Dawn. You're always sweet with your dollars. I appreciate you. And then we have one from... I don't want to read the name because it's a real name. I don't want to give that out, but it's a name that I don't recognize. Sends in $1. The initials are CC. I'll say the initials. So whoever sent in the $1 with the message, I'm poor, but the gesture is there. Hope it will help your video game addiction. Well, thank you very much, CC.
You're welcome.
I deeply appreciate. Oh, is that from you?
Yes.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That was sweet of you. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. It's very
Wow,
kind.
that's lovely.
Yeah, very kind. Thank you very much, Christopher. Thank you very much. All right. So let's move on now. We'll drop the banner and go back to the dragons. We started with the white dragon, which leaves 4. Facing the music, think of the children, an ocean of possibilities, and afraid or confident. Trym, you're the party leader. Would you like to choose the next dragon or have a party member make that choice?
Since Christopher was the first one to give me this power, I'm going to give him the next choice. Here you go,
Okay.
Frenchie.
I will go with facing the music.
Okay, from the red dragon. All right. Let's see. Yes, here we go. Let me pop open the article here real quick. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. Oh, nope, no, that's not it either. There we go. We will start with remix here. Oh, no, that's the dragon. I accidentally clicked the wrong thing. There we go. Over in Sweden, major U-turn. Swedish parliament abolishes permanent residence visas for migrants. The move comes as Sweden's conservative government pursues a wider crackdown on mass migration. And so here, let's see, the new legislation put forward will eliminate all possibility of permanent resident permits to asylum seekers, which of course they've had tremendous problems with. This has already gone through, by the way, and is set to take effect on July 12th. So that's good. We could read about the sad stuff and how bad it's been, but I don't want to read that. We'll just skip that for now because I have another thing to go with this. The European Parliament has formally voted to approve new return regulation, replacing the 2008 return directive. And it was an overwhelming vote, 418 to 218. It returned hubs for deportations, meaning that they are actually going to create deportation hubs that were taken down years ago. It gives powers to search migrants' residences and other relevant premises to search for illegal immigrants and make sure that they are not, and people that are legally here are not harboring people who are illegally here. And then detention periods extended from 6 months up to 2 years, with longer detention for security risk cases, and entry bans increased from 5 to 10 years, with possible lifetime bans for security risk cases and those who try to exploit the system. And finally, automatic suspension of deportations during appeals is removed. Courts decide case by case whether returns are paused. Now, this is all actually good stuff. Like, I know it doesn't fix the problem. I know it's not mass deportations, but it's actually nice to see the European Parliament doing things that don't make me angry and want to eat my own head. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Unfortunately, the
All right, I
commission is
gotta
just
go
gonna shit
check.
on it.
I gotta go check if there's gonna start raining cats and dogs. Give me a
I
second.
know, right?
Same here. It's starting to.
Holy crap!
It got real dark real fast.
You
So
have
the
to
red dragon.
understand, Europe does occasionally do good things, but then they usually end up going, "Oh no! Oh, hang on, you're getting the wrong idea. Let me just take that back."
Yeah. Well, there's another topic for that we'll get to later about the EU. So anyway, the red with us tonight is a lifelong politician and has spent several centuries in the lofty, beautiful quagmire of the empire's political machine. He enjoys learning about other worlds with complex politics, which is why he enjoys Earth. He chose this topic tonight since clearly the winds have changed, but this question remains, and it comes to Christopher first. Do you think Western rulers are finally addressing the elephant in the room because they see problems to fix, or simply angry commoners to appease? What are your predictions for the immigration issues in Europe?
It's both easy and complicated to answer.
Yep, it's absolutely coming down.
Honestly, if I were to be honest and speak my own mind, like in my own name, I think that the future is Europe is pretty bleak. Honestly, I don't know how it couldn't go to civil war. Honestly,
Okay.
there's too much signs, too much going on. It I don't know how to explain that, but it's too violent and too volatile right now to not go that way, at least in the direction of. There is hope, of course, always, if you try to be optimistic and see on the bright side of light, like Brian said. But yeah, it's pretty bleak. You will have to get win after win after win after win in the some European Parliament or the country, because as stated for you, Europe is still a thing. It's like an entity, but every single country has their own thing going on too. And some of the major players like France, England, Germany, I think Spain too is quite dreadful at the moment. They go hard on for pro-immigration, so it's pretty complicated. You don't have like I don't know, like a scenario where Lithuania or Hungary dictate what's happening in the European Parliament. It doesn't happen that way. So it's a bit of both for the first part of the question. Like, it's at least try to address the elephant in the room, and also probably a way to say something of the line of, see, we're talking about it, we're doing something, but nothing properly happened. There is something in France, and I'm sure every other country has it. It's called in French in OQTF, which translate like mandatory leaving the French soil or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's never applied. Like you have, I don't remember the exact number, but it's something like 2 or 3 million a year, and like 200 or 500 is actually applied. Like sending back someone to Ethiopia or South Africa, or I don't know. So it may be smoke and mirror, but it's at least a way of naming the thing publicly in the higher sphere.
Okay.
I hope I answered all your thing.
Oh no, it's good. That's good. It's good answers. Anything else you want to add before we move to someone else?
Please save Belgium.
I would save us all if I could. I would save us all if I could.
But I will be curious about hearing Trym's takes on it, since he's also in Europe, maybe another part, but still in Europe.
Honestly, I think like you, it's a bit of both. There are, let's put it like like this. You have countries like Poland who are very much anti-immigration, and then you have countries like France and Germany and Belgium who are so pro-immigration that it's disgusting. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, no.
And there is, like, of course, Norway isn't any better with all its leftist parties. But honestly, they're starting to address the elephant in the room in order to appease the angry commoners. But this, again, since I kind of been called out as the resident optimist, I do think this is the first steps for before things start to improve, because as we see in different countries, heck, even in Norway, where the most conservative of the of the legacy parties, FRP, is starting to get like massive positive, doing very well in opinion polls. There's a shift towards a more conservative, and younger generations who aren't in the cities are very much starting to notice the things we've been talking about. And especially now, lately, this week here, with these last few weeks, with the things that happened, people are starting to just see and notice more and get more and more frustrated.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
And like Mass said in chat there, I've heard from several people I talked to in like Telegram and Discord and stuff who live in Europe, in European countries, that there has slowly been more right-leaning and nationalistic-leaning people getting into the EU Parliament. So I guess that's good.
Oh yeah.
And that's probably
A lot
what
of it
led
is thanks
to something like this kind of vote.
Yeah, a lot of it is thanks to Poland and the Eastern European countries, because
Yeah.
after having gone through a lot of the shit that after the wars, they are some of the people who are most proud of being who they are,
Yep.
and they don't want to sacrifice it.
Yep. Don't blame them. Like Hungary, Romania, Poland, like a lot of the East European places, they know what time it is. They see it. And also they had to live through communism. And that's why I think that East Germany is a lot more based than West Germany now.
Yep. I mean, I was in Poland for a week, and I spoke with a few Poles, and a lot of them have this thing that, oh, we've been under the thumbs of one side or the other, but now Poland is for the Poles. Even if we're part of the EU, we will not be under the EU.
Based.
And I respect that.
Me too.
Yeah, Poland is maybe the only shining light in Europe right now. This, and as you said, some country in East Europe, like Hungary and I think Romania. I've heard a few things about Romania also.
Romania's
Yeah,
good,
I
but
do
they've got-
like
they
their
have
historical
elections
views.
fucked with.
Yeah. Romania is pretty cool, but they have their
Romania's
problems
doing
like
well
all of
for
us.
itself, but unfortunately, they've got this little weird squeaky gremlin in their country that they don't seem to be able to shake.
I like that squeaky gremlin. I still talk to him.
Actually, something that needs to be said to Big O's point, AFD has become way more popular in the West. It's catching up big time, which is a really good thing.
Yeah,
if
that's
you
good.
see the latest map, it's like it's obviously it was already all of the East, and now it's like more than half of the West side too. It's like maybe 2/3.
The Germans have had enough. Thank God.
Don't their leader, like major figure of the party, getting killed or arrested or something? I've
Yes,
heard about
like
this.
16 of them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all died of-
Obvious
of-
political violence. Yeah.
Yeah, obvious political violence. They all died via mysterious or very unexplainable circumstances.
Like there was an explosion in an office, a car
Yeah,
wreck, death
yep.
in a home. Like
Over half of them are
Clearly-
car wrecks.
clearly the powers that be are doing what they can to stop it, but I don't think they can.
They're increasingly resorting to more and more hard power in order to enforce the regime.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll work. I genuinely
No.
don't. I know
No.
people are very pessimistic about this because we've only known failure and misery and shit in our politics, but I really do think things are happening. Things I
Yes.
think will change for the better. I think it's
Um,
inevitable.
yeah.
I might suggest not the word happening, but things are moving. Will it be like a destruction, or like the dragon say, try to appease the commoner and see, we're talking about it, we're trying to do things, blah blah blah. But I'm still not convinced about things actually happening.
I don't
Like
mean
I
tomorrow,
still,
but
yeah.
Lighten up a bit, buddy.
I think we'll live to see
Ah.
things. I think we'll live to see things both great and terrible because of all this. So let's go ahead and leave it off there.
All in on things happening all the
me too.
time.
Things need to happen.
Before we do go, I just feel as though I want to pass one comment on the dragon's question. I personally think that any efforts that the people within Western governments within the Europe region, that includes the UK and the European Union and any other states that are tangentially related to the formerly mentioned, it's just they can see that there is growing pressure and they think, well, if we just tweak this knob a little bit for a few seconds and then put it back, it'll be fine. We've already taken 100 steps forward. If we just put 2 steps back, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that seems to apply to a certain prime minister stepping down.
Oh, yes. Pressure relief valves are what they operate on, and they are always pushing that pressure forwards.
Indeed.
What we are waiting for, well, what people like those currently on the panel are waiting for is for them to push just a little bit too hard, a little bit too long, and the resulting backlash to escalate in an exponential manner, shall we say.
And it will happen because it's in their nature. It's in their nature. They can't help themselves.
It most certainly
Just like
is.
how a goblin digs holes.
Tunnel goblins. All right. We have over on, let's see. Oh, we have 2 over on Buy Me a Coffee. Both of them are from Fat Dave. Good to see Fat Dave in the chat. Good friend of mine. He's on the panel quite a bit. Fat Dave sends in $25. That's a great donation. Thank you very much. And he says, too bad it's too little too late. The barbarians are already inside the gate. Mass re-immigration is the only real solution, although a much harsher one is preferred, perhaps a final one. Har har. Yeah, I get you. But, I mean, the fact that they're wanting to stop and curb this stuff, like, that's a good sign that perhaps re-immigration will follow. Like, you can't just go from shit-lib anti-white globalists to Third Reich in one step. Like, it's a process. Like, it takes a while to get things from one to another. So I agree, too little, too late. I understand the glass half empty view of this. I get it. But I do think that it's better than just more constant flooding of foreigners and pedal to the metal. Also, Fat Dave sends $10 to say, monthly burger. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That's very sweet of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. So that's it for the paid chats. We will hopefully have some more later. Thank you very much.
I have a very important question to ask you, Yes.
Sure, go ahead.
About the transition to the Fourth Reich.
Sure.
When can we have the new Hugo Boss collection? That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh, God, I wish. The drip was choice back then. Very choice. All right.
I mean, unfortunately, we already have the Fourth Reich, and it's the gay one. EU. I want the 5th.
Maybe the 5th one will be better. We'll see.
We never had a true Reich.
All right. True Reich has never been tried. All right. That was Facing the Music, which leaves Think of the Children, An Ocean of Possibilities, and Afraid or Confident. Mr. Trym, you are the party leader. What will be next, sir?
Righty then. So I'm going to continue down the road unless there's any of the last 2 who wish to go first.
Ginger also ratted you out for being the boss of the game.
So he's next.
Yes.
Unless
Excellent.
3 of 12 wants to go first, I'm going for Ginger Monster. You're next.
All right. What'll it be, Ginger? We have 3. Which one is it?
I think I'll take an ocean of possibilities.
Fun. All right.
I fully expect to have absolutely no idea as to what the nature of the story is about.
3 of 12.
I've never been able to guess either.
3 of 12 might know what this one is about. Let's see.
Oh, yes.
U.S. firm deploys floating data centers that generate electricity using ocean waves. This architecture accesses vast energy resources without straining domestic grids or requiring new land-based plants. High-performance computing is moving into international waters to solve the dual challenges of energy availability and hardware cooling. U.S.-based tech startup Panthalassa, I don't know how to say it, recently finalized a $140 million Series B investment round to scale production on its self-propelled maritime data platforms. Quote, there are 3 sources of energy on the planet with tens of terawatts of new capacity potential: solar, nuclear, and open ocean, said Garth Sheldon Coulson, co-founder and CEO of the firm. This capital injection will fund the completion of an assembly facility near Portland, Oregon, and accelerate a pilot deployment in the northern Pacific Ocean later this year. Another quote. As demand for new electricity and computing continues to surge, terrestrial data centers face mounting constraints, limited grid capacity, cooling water scarcity, supply chain bottlenecks, permitting delays, and impacts on local communities and infrastructure, said the company in a press release. Residential communities frequently organize against new data center construction out of concern over utility costs, noise, and the diversion of public resources. Panthalassa evades these regional regulatory and environmental obstacles by developing autonomous computing nodes directly into deep water. Panthalassa's nodes are autonomous, floating energy systems that are mass-produced from plate steel in coastal factories, added the press release. They operate in the distant ocean where they generate clean electricity around the clock. Onboard mechanical systems convert the kinetic movement of waves into a steady supply of electricity, establishing a continuous power source that functions independently of weather-dependent terrestrial renewables like solar or wind. The entire data processing cycle occurs directly on the water. Instead of using undersea cables to send raw electricity back to coastlines, the platforms consume the power immediately to run the onboard AI hardware. The surrounding ocean operates as a perpetual thermal sink, providing natural cooling that maintains optimal chip temperatures and slows hardware degradation without consuming municipal fresh water. For data transmission, the system relies on low Earth orbit satellite networks to receive incoming commands and broadcast completed AI inference tokens back to the terrestrial clients. Rather than transmitting energy back to terrestrial grids, Panthalassa uses it directly on board to power AI chips, sending inference tokens to land by satellite, explained the company. The upcoming deployment of the Ocean 3 pilot series represents the culmination of a 10-year development timeline. Panthalassa previously conducted oceanic field tests using Ocean 1, Ocean 2, and Wavehopper designs in 2021 and 2024 to verify the stability of its power generation and navigation software. The scheduled Pacific trials will focus on processing active computing workloads and standardizing manufacturing protocols in preparation for widespread commercial availability by 2027. Final quote, we have built a technology platform that operates in the planet's most energy-dense wave regions far from shore and turns that resource into reliable, clean power, concluded Sheldon. We are now ready to build factories, deploy fleets, and provide a sustainable new source of energy for humanity. All right, let's go to the green dragon. The green with us tonight, like many greens, is strong with nature magic and tends a forested region. He does not shun advanced society like some greens. He views technology as a natural process since it comes from natural creatures. He chose this story tonight to ask us this, and it comes to Ginger first. Do you think offshoring, so to speak, data centers is a good idea, and how functional will it be? What other applications do you think this tech could be used for?
Well, I think it is actually a genuinely wonderful idea, but not for the reasons that you may be thinking. For you see, computers tend to be made of this delightful material known as metal. And metal, when in construction, when used in construction programs that are in contact with seawater, have this delightful tendency to gradually disappear over time. I think putting all of the AI processing sensors into the ocean, delightful. Self-solving problems are my favorite kind of problems.
I think Matt has your back in chat there.
My opinion is very similar to my opinion on the idea of putting data centers in space, by the way. Again, it's one of those situations where it's going to be a self-solving problem, considering that the issue of the data center being in space and therefore not having an atmosphere to be able to utilize in venting excess thermal runaway that would occur within a typical GPU bank means that the AI will cook itself to death. This is a good thing. But yes, in terms of the actual functionality from the perspective of what the people who would own the facilities want to be able to achieve, on the other hand, as far as I'm concerned, wave power is it's kind of in a similar realm as fusion energy, in that we're never going to be able to get it to work properly, in my opinion. It's one of those things that's just too far outside the realm of feasibility to be able to actually achieve it.
Okay.
Just the simple fact that okay, what I mentioned earlier about things made of metal being in contact with seawater is 100% accurate. Anytime you have a metal and you put it into contact with seawater, with very few and very expensive exceptions, the seawater will turn the metal into dust. This occurs with iron-based alloys. It occurs with aluminium. It occurs with anything that you can think of, with the possible exception of titanium. Titanium might be able to withstand continuous operation within a water and salt-based environment. I say might because I'm not 100% sure. Chances are it itself is not an exception. But titanium can survive plenty long enough inside the human body, so who knows?
And nothing stops them from putting this in like a plastic shell, which I'm sure they've thought of. Also, the way that it uses water for cooling, the way that I understood it when looking at the tech itself is the water doesn't actually make contact with things that will erode easily. So the data centers themselves out there and the energy production from motion, they don't really have to worry about that erosion element.
Yeah, basically the outside casing is essentially a giant heat spreader, and it's covered in a sort of high heat conducting paint that is thick enough that it'll never get through and never cause any sort of corrosion. And even then, it's probably nickel plated to start with.
I don't know.
I can add a little bit here because I am notorious for my ability to make tech just go haywire and screw up. And if you guys want AI to stop, just pay for my boat ride to one of these centers and they'll magically explode when I get close enough.
I don't have to destroy
I'm not
the
even
hardware,
kidding.
though. I just
Trym's tech death aura.
Yeah.
trying to save the
I
hardware,
have
not make it more expensive.
Well, I want to hear from 3 of 12 on this. He's a tech guy. What do you think about all this?
I mean, it sounds like a great idea to me, based on everything that's been stated here.
It's Bartholomew.
Crazy, huh?
It's midnight.
It is indeed. The time is 12 obong.
12 a bong. So 3, if this technology is functional and works pretty well, what other applications do you think it could be used for? Anything come to mind?
Giant dildo.
I was also
I'm sorry.
thinking the
Did
possibility
you
of
just say
supporting.
giant dildo?
He did. It caught me off guard. That was funny.
For what
Well,
elder creature would that be for?
Cthulhu.
You see, Chris is Belgian, and they have a very interesting interests.
Yes.
You know, I'm
Well-
simultaneously impressed and disappointed that nobody said your mom.
Oh. Very good. Very good.
Yes, finally, a 70 terabyte Kioxia SSD, a drive large enough to contain one single picture of your mom.
To contain one JPEG of your mom.
They can play both Crisis 1 on Max and maybe load a pixel of your mom.
But the other application that I thought it might be useful for is perhaps supporting superconducting applications, providing heat sinking capabilities that may support it's meant to make it more sustainable, because it's not like we can't do it, it's just extremely expensive, and it could be the first step towards superconducting power lines.
Could be. One of the things that I thought it could be good for is having some kind of research stations to study things at sea. Because if you're going to do more with ocean water power, that opens the door for more research and technology testing for aquatic environments, aquatic machines, aquatic drones. And if you have your own pretty much untethered by cables power generation, that would actually let us start doing more sea tech, sea exploration stuff in places that are very hard to reach and navigate. And I think that's cool, because I love sea life and nature shows about, deep sea stuff and open ocean creatures. I love submarines. Submarines are cool as fuck. Like, I love that kind of tech. And if we have these power centers that can generate power, it might not be tremendous at first, but maybe at some point, they will be good enough to power, things that we actually would need, like deep sea exploration drones, sonar mapping stuff, things that we could actually do on site at little floating research stations. That's something that came to my mind.
You mentioned
And
submarines,
start
and I'm
funding for
immediately
aquatic
reminded
mobile.
that
Sorry, you first.
you say submarines, and I'm immediately reminded of the fact that we recently passed through the anniversary of the what's it called? The submarine that imploded and turned a bunch of billionaires into
The
a
Titanic
finalist.
thing.
Yeah.
That
Ocean
is
Gate. That's it.
Ocean Gate.
Yeah. I'm not sure if anybody in the audience is particularly aware of the Yu-Gi-Oh card game scene, but you'll be delighted to know that apparently the people who make that game decided that around now would be the ideal time to release a card that is a submarine that blows itself up, which I just love on a conceptual level. Very silly.
Anybody else have any thoughts about this tech?
Well, I have one idea. I hope that this tech will be the good step forward for us to finally start developing aquatic mobile suits like the Zagok and Guy and Hygog.
Shut up,
can
nerd.
start finally invade.
Nerd.
I appreciate your Gundam knowledge, and Gundam references are always welcome here.
Goof? Is that a goof? That's a goof, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very goofy.
I'm goofing so hard right now.
I might have something to add about it, but it's more about the AI
Please.
stuff, the data center and all, than the tech exactly. But I would share a tiny bit about me for the context of what I'm about to say. But I recently adopted AI for health reason, so to speak, but also for my writing. And honestly, I was blown away by how much AI could help me in my day-to-day lives and my writing again, but also help me write stuff like social important social message that I might not be very good at, and a news that said that maybe there will be an easier way to help to maintain the AI or advance the AI for the health reason that has my autism is not always easy to live with. Yeah, it's a good news for me.
That's good. That's good.
And I think that many people who have psychological issues or very diminishing condition might benefit by AI.
Yeah, possible. Anybody else have anything on this topic? Oh, go ahead, Trym.
My opinion of AI will remain the same. It is a tool, and it should be used as such.
Yeah, AI thus far is a great secretary. It can collect data for you. It can tell you, the best ways to phrase things in certain places. It can help collate a bunch of data for you. Like Chris was talking about helping you write. Like if you're a writer and you're doing fiction, well, you might want to know, what was it like in 1880? I don't know, fucking France or something. Like I need to know what were the customs? What was the day-to-day like in 1745 London or whatever, and it can cite you sources. It can pull up pages from novels for you to read. Like using AI is very helpful as a super secretary. Something that would take you hours or days of busy work, it can get back to you in moments.
Even years, honestly.
Or even years, yeah.
I think this technology needs to be commercialized so people can build their own boats that are powered by waves and then use it to power their gaming systems on their hermit boats.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But about the AI stuff that you say, I thought about a way to qualify AI is honestly internet without an interface. Like you can ask everything, anything, like a cooking recipe, a list of I don't know, hospital you want to go that are specialized in this or that. And even with the topic we're currently speaking about, like politics, immigration, and yada yada, like it can also, at least Grok, that the one I'm using, say to you, well, this is no diversity area, does not speak about DEI or gay stuff and blah blah blah. Yeah, it was a godsend to me, honestly. I think I even might need to credit Grok for helping me going a bit away from my depression.
Good. Moving away from depression is always good.
Yeah.
So anything else anybody has to say on this one? This was a fun topic. I'm glad I chose this one for tonight.
Science topics are always a good one to discuss.
Yeah, I've been doing my best to include more tech topics because many of my followers love that kind of stuff. So I wanted to start including more of them. All right, well, let's go ahead.
It's especially good when you pick such topics when both me and 3 of 12 are in the room.
Indeed. All right.
Yeah, I enjoyed this
bring
one.
an absolute Luddite like myself.
me and Trym, we can
We're the
go
counterweight.
out if you want.
Yeah. We turn to the black woman and say, "I'm retarded."
Well, I am another word that starts with R, but
All right. That was the Green Dragon, an ocean of possibilities, which leaves 2. Think of the children and afraid or confident. Trym, what will be next, sir?
I nominate 3 of 12 to make this decision.
Okay, what do we got left here? Solve the black dragon, right?
Black and blue.
Okay, I'll go with the black dragon then.
All right. The black dragon is afraid or confident. Now, this one is a video, so we will watch a quick video before we go to the black dragon. And this is what I mentioned earlier about cringe from the EU. So let's have a listen to this horrible hag.
There's much work to be done as Hungary is coming back to the European path. But I think we should also look at the lessons learned inside the European Union. For example, I think moving to qualified majority voting in foreign policy is an important way to avoid systematic blockages as we've seen in the past. And we should use the momentum now really to move forward on that topic.
So just in case you didn't understand what she's talking about, moving away from unanimous voting, what she's saying here is that smaller states should lose their voting power. So quote unquote right-wing little countries like Poland and Hungary will not have a say or much of a say in what the EU does. Sounds
Why
very...
are they
sounds
in the
very...
EU to start with? Why?
Well,
That's
because
exactly
Evil
what
is
I
just
said
gonna be
earlier.
evil.
Like, no, I get that. It's just like it's moments like this.
let's save it for when the dragon's done. The Black with us tonight is an advisor to many influential worms in the Dragon Empire. He is known for his keen insights and useful advice on how to govern fairly. He considers Earth a viable world for empirical expansion and hopes one day a noble worm will rule over us and help us with our many problems. He chose this tidbit tonight to ask us this. And it comes to you first, 3 of 12. Do you think the EU is falling apart and dying? If so, what comes next? If not,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, absolutely. It's dead. I'd say dead by 2030.
Okay.
Considering that they're about to have a lot of pendulum swing elections that were rigged the last time around. There's Romania, there's France, the UK. They're all coming, and I know the UK isn't in anymore, but you know they're contributing to the whole like checkers deal being completely unfair. Will contribute to the fall of the EU. Other nations will look at it and see that, and see that the European Union needs to be destroyed in its entirety, because they can't just leave. They'll still have to deal with it. And they'll still have to deal. They'll most likely be forced into some kind of deal by a globalist government where they get all the downsides but none of the upsides of being out. But the Netherlands is already like 35% wants out. I think. It's growing every month. Italy is on its way. Hungary's on its way. I mean, Poland, obviously. I mean, if they all had referendums now, then a bunch of countries would just leave, and probably they actually would probably form their own sort of super state to combat the EU. I mean, it's very clear that they're straight up saying to them overtly that no, you don't have any rights here. Oh, democracy is when you don't get to vote. It's just what?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Just announcing that you're just a dictatorial authoritarian
just
state.
straight up evil.
One might even say fascist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. There's a reason I call them the Fourth Reich. In the worst
Yeah.
way.
When you think you can use the power of the state to enforce morality on your own people, then you've become a fascist. That's it. It's over.
Yep.
Yep.
And
And
Maloney,
that's
is,
the
yeah,
choice words.
she's gonna get replaced by someone more based, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
For being wet on the subject, you know, especially with immigration, where she argued that immigrants were somehow good for the GDP, and but there's no statistics that back that up, though. If none of them work, what are they contributing? You'd have to have DEI policies that involve hiring quotas, and then you'd have to train them. And we saw how that worked out with the CHIPS Act. When when the CHIPS Act attempted to bring fabs to Arizona, right, to be built by, say, Intel, Realtek, I believe also Micron, they required that they hire 50% minorities and 50% women, and they all had to be local. They tried to ship in people who were qualified anyway, and the U.S. government stopped them. This was during the Biden administration. So it was $300 billion, and essentially by the end of Biden's administration, none of it had been spent because they hadn't met any of the requirements. And they complained that when they hired these people, they couldn't even teach them to do the construction work. They could not. They would not retain anything they taught them. They couldn't be taught to do the work. They would keep running out of qualified people because that's what happens when you hire 50% nogs and 50% women.
Yep.
I mean, nothing against women in this sense, but like you're gonna run out of women even willing to do the work, right?
It's the problem. Like this is a major element of the competency crisis. When you stop making merit your primary selecting factor, and you do stuff like sexuality and gender and race and bullshit as your primary selecting factor, you get shittier workers.
Yes,
it's not rocket surgery. Like
it's even worse than that. You run out of adequate people very quickly.
Indeed.
I mean, nothing against women in this sense, but like you're gonna run out of women even willing to do the work, right?
Indeed. Indeed.
I mean, nothing against women in this sense, but like you're gonna run out of adequate people very quickly.
Indeed. Indeed.
It's not entirely related to that, but what you are saying, 312, remind me of what happened recently in Switzerland about the 10 million cap on the population. The vote failed because of women and the people in the city.
Of course, we shouldn't be able to vote or run for office because they don't have
City
the big
people.
five. I mean, I'm all for the one unicorn that actually has the big five traits to be in there with the big boys, assuming she tests for 140 IQ. But other than that, no.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Linda liked my rocket surgery riff there. Glad you like that.
Yeah, that's a really good Voyager reference.
I didn't
Those who know.
Is it a Voyager reference? I'm
Yeah, that one time B'Elanna had to hack Cardassian nuclear missiles that she'd
The
hacked in the
last
first
time
place.
The last time I heard the term rocket surgery used, it was in reference to if memory serves, a Stargate Atlantis episode where somebody was actually trying to do something with one of the Wraith ships and said this isn't rocket surgery, and then realized, oh, actually, it kind of is now that I think about it.
I remember that. That was the one that the hive was going to crash into the Earth.
Man, I haven't watched Atlantis in ages. It's been like 20 years.
Dude, I remember that vividly. Also, that's also a Jim Gaffigan joke.
It is such a good show. Wait, was this the hive ship that was kind of sick because of the retrovirus?
Yes, it was.
Oh,
it broke into two.
Yeah, and also a bunch of wraiths suddenly woke up and realized, hey, we have functioning stomachs now. I'm gonna eat something or someone.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
No, not at all.
So somebody else take the question.
I can go next.
Target.
Well, I really, really, really want the EU to be falling apart and dying. The institution of the EU, not the countries that make up the EU, of course. However, in much the same way in which I am hoping that the nation of China is falling apart and dying, and yet it has seemingly been in a perpetual state of free fall and collapse for the last, what feels like at least half a century. I can't help but feel as though that the perpetual free-falling state that is the EU is actually in perpetual freefall, perpetually and forever, for all eternity.
Eventually, it's going to hit a bottom. It's going to eventually hit a point.
You know how technically the ISS is always falling. It's just going so far forwards so quickly that it just keeps missing the Earth and therefore has achieved orbit. Similar logic.
Okay.
I'm curious about
failing upwards, huh?
I'm curious about 3 or 12. What makes you so certain that it will end in 2030?
Mostly because there's a bunch of election cycles that are going to be big pendulum swings in the next several years. The French election.
Will it be enough? Will it be enough? Like there is a saying about too big to fail, and I think it applies to the EU.
Well, too big to fail didn't hold. It didn't hold in the United States. We built after the bailout turned out to be the biggest mistake the government could have done.
Oh yeah, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
It's better to just rip off the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
It really is. And we've had enough. We've seen enough. We've wasted enough years. People our age, like you, would rather see that, right? You'd rather rip off the Band-Aid and start moving towards a better future than just keep putting it off as things get worse and worse and worse. And here's I used the French election that we just had last a couple years ago. Was it last year? A couple years ago, where they pulled that stupid move where there were two left-wing parties, and then one of them decided to not stand because they had so many three-way second-round votes, and then they basically consolidated the left-wing vote because when you force normies to vote between the far right and the nice left-wingers who might give you free stuff, they never choose the far right. because it's essentially based on, oh well, decorum, hate, whatever, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
One of those issues eventually one shot somebody, so that's how they won. But it still means that, like, outside of the normies, there's a huge amount of desire for a different administration to step in.
Yeah.
The normies would vote for it. They'd vote for it if the left wing wasn't, like, so, well, if they were exposed more so to what the left wing actually believes. And I see that they're going through that right now. I mean, there's been yet another French revolt recently. My view
it
on
is
that
summertime.
That,
it is the season.
yes, that there's many different permutations of this in different European countries. I don't pretend to know their zeitgeists exactly. I know the Dutch zeitgeist a lot better since I dated someone who lived there for years. They're already kind of on the verge there. I think there's a lot of dominoes that are about to fall.
I
on
think
this
so
board.
too. I don't know if the EU will be disbanded no more by 2030.
I think it's more like it might be
that
half.
the globalist agenda 2030 is just off the table now. Like too much,
it's off the table. There's
too much is falling apart. Too many people are against it. The dominoes that they had are just off the table now. I don't think that they are getting their 2030 agenda bullshit. I think that's just gone.
Yeah, but
that. And a lot of politicians that even have the power to do this are starting to age out.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
yeah, but sorry to be a bit stubborn, but what I hear is like it will shrink on the optimist side of viewing this, but disappearing, I don't think so. The slime who are there, like, you will never get rid of it, and the institution of the EU is too much of a profit for them to leave office, basically.
Yeah, I don't expect it to happen. I don't expect them. One, I don't expect it to be voluntary. Two, I expect that it's going to require huge pushback from populations
and a lot of years. Yeah.
Let the removal of U.S. aid, for example, percolate a little bit more, and if we can get rid of more of it, then so be it. But it's going to require actually winning elections, changing laws, changing, say, the incentives and what's available for these people to eat up via fraud, and then they will slowly lose their institutions on their own by simply turning off the faucet.
Yeah, and
a lot of these people will just give up and just retire, because at the end of the day, it's dark triad people who only care about themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that if we do start having more separation from Israel and more based people getting into control of the United States, we might see an actual either disbanding or reorganization of NATO and U.S. support to Europe, which is good. I want Europe to be more military on their own. I want Europe to not have to be shackled by the economic slavery of the United States. It might be hard for a while, but it will be better for European countries in the end, I think.
Yeah, think of it as like there's a range of boundaries that the EU has to stay within in order to continue to exist. If the quality of life drops too far to the point that a large chunk of the population can't get jobs, can't get food, can't get basics, they will eventually have to do something. And this is already a problem in the United States. Let alone there. I know it's even worse. I mean, the well-to-do boys in the Lotus Eaters, for example, their economy has gotten so bad that none of those young lads can expect to get a house at any time in their lives.
Yeah,
it would require saving their entire lives. Maybe they get something eventually, but they all live in one-bedroom flats. And I can only imagine that as you go down the totem pole of poorer and poorer European countries, that things are getting harder and harder, and a larger population are at the point they're absolutely tired of it, especially since this was never what they signed up for. They signed up for the economic boons. They didn't sign up for both political control and economic losses, especially since the EU is built almost extensively on redistribution of wealth. Yeah. I mean, if any of the big, the loss of the UK as a big contributor already has made it significantly more brittle. Imagine if the Netherlands leave, it gets that the boundaries of it being able to hold together get that much smaller.
Yeah, all it would take would be for a couple of countries to leave, and I think the EU goes tits up.
And I mean, that's I'm sorry for interrupting, but that is kind of in Norway now. It is almost a feverish desperation, like the push for Norway to be part of EU. The media is just pushing that hard, right? And I think that is why this push is so desperate in Norway about, oh no, we need to join EU. We need to.
I
We're
don't think that'll
as
happen.
media said, oh, it better not. But then again, Stöde is just a few years separated from Keir Starmer. I will not hold against them. Hold it. I will not hold that out just yet. Point is that I'm just going to answer it quickly before I continue. Do I think the EU is falling apart? Yes, it is falling apart and dying. It will become a remnant first. So it will be a remnant by 2030 and hopefully be dead and a dark stain in history by 2050. What comes next, I hope, essentially is just what the EU was supposed to be. Essentially a trade union, while every other country watches themselves, deals with their own stuff. And maybe Norway, Sweden, and Denmark can get to their own union instead of the two of them betraying Norway. That aside, shit, I lost my train of thought here. Sorry, guys.
Shit. Instructions unclear. Dick and Toaster.
Yeah, I agree with Porkins. I think a lot of these creatures are in the smash and grab stage. That's what I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Because when the ship starts to sink, the rats scurry in panic. And
Well,
I think,
I'm not so sure about it. I've heard everything you said, and maybe it's just belief on my part, but there is something happening in France that Macron is doing. I don't have the exact detail of it. Maybe Illuminatus, who I think is in the chat, can explain it a bit further. But basically, Macron see that the writing are on the walls, and he won't. He will not have like a proper successor to be the bitch of Europe and Germany and everything, and the pimp of Ukraine. But anyway, he put all of his agents in key spots to basically block whoever will come next that might go against the system. And I think that maybe this is what's happening in the EU. In the same vein at what's happened in the culture war, the very early stage of the woke era, when everyone put some agent, like in the comic book industry, in the Hollywood, in the manga localizer, on video games, on whatever the fuck. I think that I don't argue that there is some important leakage in the system and the plan that the EU have, but I think they're still going strong in placing key figurehead, this and that, and blocking every way to change things drastically.
Oh,
So
they
you're
will
saying that
always
the
try
EU
to be
has
there,
anal
dude.
leakage?
They'll always try.
Sorry?
And so you're saying the EU has anal leakage? I see.
Maybe.
Yes. It's basically the slime is always going to try to remain, and the hell, it's even if this generation of backstabbing swine dies out, there is going to be another. We just need to be a bit more capable of working, of reacting when we notice things, and that's kind of what the current crop of politicians hopefully will be. People who notice and act from it, like more Rupert Lowe's, please. More people who.
Yeah.
There was this one politician in Norway who invented a new slur, which isn't a slur yet, so you can actually say it without a problem. Minus variant. Of course, he was thrown out of the party, but minus variance means everything that isn't Norwegian and a detriment to the nation.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a very good one.
Well, I hope that
it reminds me of the Germans, Auslander Rouse. It reminds me of that.
Yes. Pretty much, yeah. Same energy. And there are more people, and the younger generations want the I'm just going to say Norway that I grew up in, because they only heard stories of it, the younger generations.
Yeah, and age,
They
I think, is
grew
another
up.
thing, too, that we should talk about here, because so many of these politicians are like late 50s and 60s, and a lot of the people coming up and getting politically active are much younger. You know,
Yep.
I've heard guys as young as 22 and 23 wanting to get involved in politics in the circles that I'm in over in Europe. And you have several of the people involved in, like, the AFD, for example. I've seen pictures of many of them. They're in their 30s. Like, these
Yep.
people grew up in an already destroyed civilization. They don't have anything to lose. Like, these people are not who you want to screw with. And these ridiculous kleptocrats and bureaucrats and all these anti-white scumbags, these people that are lording over us, they're old. And they rely on intimidation. They rely on economic slavery, extortion, etc., to keep people in line. And their system is failing. And I think that because of all of these factors, I do think that we will see things get better in Europe. I know it's dark. I know it's hard to believe that things could get better when it's been bad for so long. But it's not just blind hope and copium here. Like, we're actually seeing things
Yes, it
change.
is.
That-
Chris, I swear to God, I will slap you with a smiley face.
Trym, get in line.
No.
I will not tolerate
shall
TV
not-
in my surrounding.
I will not take the black suppository. You can keep it for yourself.
You will listen to Slayer like a good old Norwegian.
Now take it
Later
and
is
shove it up your ass. Wait, no, I didn't mean literally.
Wait, I'm
God
not Swedish.
fucking damn.
Yeah. Like Ben said, oh, I want to believe, like Fox Mulder.
Yeah. But yeah, I genuinely believe there is. History goes in cycles. It will be bad. There has been bad, but there will be good too, as long as we don't give up. That's the key. That's the key element here.
Yeah.
As long as we continue, as long as we talk freely, small pushes like that will give people courage, and then the people who have actual inspiration and the drive to try to get into more prestigious positions will try to use that to work upwards. And hopefully a lot of them will be people who actually have the courage and their convictions.
Let me address something in chat here before we move on. Earl Corgi says the U.S. will never be able to undo diversity numbers where Europe actually could unfuck itself. Now, see, I hear this
That's the
talk from
opposite.
black pillars a lot, and I don't think this is correct. When you look at quote-unquote diversity in the United States, with the problem of mass migration, all the Asians coming in, the South Americans coming in, it is still isolated to certain geographic areas and cities. When you look at the majority of the United States, it is still largely demographically heritage American in most counties. The southern states have a large African population, but they're African Americans. They're blacks that came from the slavery days. That's a much different animal than like the Somali monsters that have moved in and are messing up Minnesota. When you look at American demographics, I don't think that they're as fucked as a lot of black pillars think they are. Because when you look at the actual data, county by county, state by state, many counties, maybe even most, are still over 90% white heritage American. So I don't see it as, I don't see this as a problem. Are there millions of people here who shouldn't be? Yes, of course. But I don't see it as an impossible hurdle to overcome. And also, can't never could. Stinking thinking only makes you sad and leads you to ruin.
Honestly, I thought that it would be, at least to me, it's the opposite. America can save itself, not necessarily Europe.
I think
What was the
both
last
can
part?
save themselves.
What was the last thing you said, Christopher? I didn't catch that last bit. What'd you say?
I think that America can save itself, not necessarily Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, like Big O said, London and Paris resemble American cities now. It's mainly a city problem. Yeah, and I think that's why all of the evil anti-white cunts in government, like the Biden plan and those rotten scumbags in London, coming up with these ideas of how they can, like, remember that thing that came out a week or two ago about that politician that had, it was in the UK, it was like a spider web map for where to place diversity in proportion all throughout all of the UK and just completely brown every single town and village in the entire country. Like, that's the kind of shit that they want to do to us. But It's thus far, it's not working, and we are resisting it. And so in most of our countries, in Europe, United Kingdom, Canada, America, most rural areas in small towns and villages are still mostly who are supposed to be there. So that is a good strength. So don't black pill on the demographics when you look at raw data and big numbers. They're often skewed to make you depressed anyway.
Yeah. Media is just lying every single time about everything.
One of the very few things that Donald Trump has said that was turned out to be true in the long term is that the media is the enemy of the people.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's actually not a lie. One of the few true things he said. Yeah, Belfast was definitely on that. So I do not see any paid chats that came in, so let's move to the last dragon of the evening. Let me drop that banner real quick. There we go. We have one dragon left, and it is the blue dragon of Think of the Children. Think of the Children. Now, as the party leader, Trym, you really only have one choice to make, which is who will be the first one to answer this question? Do you want it to be you, or would you like to nominate someone else?
I can take it first and then leave the conversation to more intelligent people.
Sure, here we go. Should the rainbow replace the maple leaf during Pride Month at schools? Of course, this is from Canada. Under the Education Act in Ontario, all schools in the province must display the Canadian and provincial flags inside the building. Schools are, of course, also permitted to fly the Canadian flag on poles outside. However, a move to take the Canadian flag down and replace it with the cancerous Pride flag at a Barrie, is it Barrie or Barrie? I don't know how to say it, but at a school has caught the eye of many. Earlier this month, Trillium Woods Elementary School took down its Canadian flag and raised the Pride flag instead, a move that received quote unquote mixed reviews from parents. Yeah, mixed. Quote, never bring it down, add to it. Never bring down the Canadian flag. Too many people fought hard for the actual privilege to live here, said some milquetoast normie. As of Tuesday, the Canadian flag is back up on the pole outside the school, sitting at half staff. The Simcoe County District School Board says upon the direction of the Director of Education or designate, a single flag other than the national flag of Canada may be raised for a specific time to recognize an event. The Simcoe Muskoka Catholic District School Board has a different stance, which chooses to never take down the Canadian flag. The following is a statement from the Catholic School District. The Canadian flag flies on our poles. Our schools have been provided with Pride and Every Child Matters flags, which are displayed in prominent ways throughout our buildings. Flags are just one of many ways that we demonstrate to our students that our spaces are safe and welcoming. Bleh. I almost vomited saying that. At the Bereaved Legion, the Canadian Military Veterans Unity flag was on display Tuesday, where efforts are underway to get the flag accepted nationally as a symbol for veterans. Members say they support the Pride flags flying, but not at the cost of the Canadian flag. How far we have fallen. Quote, I am disappointed that the knowledge of the display of the Canadian flag, that's what I'm disappointed in. It shouldn't have happened. It simply shouldn't have happened, says Bob George of the Veterans Club. Even the Veterans Club of Barrie, they could not put it up in place of the Canadian flag, and no other flag should replace the national flag. That's borderline based. That's okay. That's acceptable. He continues and said, oh, I'm sorry. This is Bill Sargent of the same Legion, says, I would prefer that the Canadian flag be flown and remain up, and that the flag be flown in addition, and that flag, meaning the Pride, not the Pride flag, but the Veterans Club flag, be flown in addition to the Canadian flag. Many parents picking up their kids from school Tuesday said they noticed the flag switch. Not having it up, it's not called for, right? I think it's the government's and everything else's responsibility to ensure that the Canadian flag stays up, says an anonymous. Many Canadian flags flying across the country are not in the best of condition, often old or torn, which is social commentary that I don't need to explain. Members at the local TV news said that they would like people to drop off their old and unwanted flags so they can be discarded with respect and not just thrown out. Now, the blue, which is this cute little one right here. The blue with us tonight is a young princess, of a successful blue clan who holds great station in the Empire's political body. As part of her education, she has to learn about the many facets of human society. And the convergence of sex, gender, and romance seem to play a major role in human identity. Since she is relatively young, she's curious about how we think our young should be taught about this stuff, meaning pride flag stuff. Obviously, the way the current establishment does it is wrong, but what would be the right way? So her question tonight is this, and it comes to you first, Trym. How do you think children should be taught about the nuance of sex, romance, and the cultural identity around those things?
Honestly, mostly through the parents themselves, parents or the legal guardians, sort of like the people who are responsible for the child themselves, who are there to, help the child grow up, but also in softer ways through stories. Take like in old cartoons where you had like proper, more emotional hints of romance, right? Not this gaudy, over sexualized crap, but rather just the more healthier seeming things, like a married couple being lovely with each other, or showing people going through a hard time in their relationship but making through it. Just let the public displays of affection, as well as the parents teaching the kids about the more personal stuff. That's essentially how I see it should be done. Essentially, also how we see it in our household when it comes to talking about my nephew. He's only 2, and my brother and my sister-in-law has decided that they're not going to let him go through with any of those weird rainbow-colored people, as they call it.
Good. That's good. That's based. Don't do that. Don't expose your kids to that stuff.
My brother is a very soft man. He's bigger than me, stronger than me, but he's a bit softer than me until he starts messing with things he really cares about. And then suddenly becomes a really dangerous man.
Then the Viking comes out.
Oh, yeah.
So anything else on this, or should we move to someone else, Trym? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to talk over you, Ginger. Yeah. My bad.
I was just saying, it sounds to me like your brother is a very good man.
Yeah.
My brother is a very, very good man. I look up to him and respect him a lot. And also, my nephew is the cutest damn kid around ever. Just saying. Obvious bias aside, I'm done with mine, actually. So, next one up.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say on this.
I don't know.
Anyone?
I think that generally speaking, it's something that kids should be allowed to discover on their own course of things, but also it's something that the parents should be the primary teachers of.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
On top of that, we need to have the entire community facilitate the acts of courting, because at the moment, dating is essentially entirely an individual endeavor, and it has never been throughout the entire history of man.
Yeah. Families and communities have always been involved in pair bonding, in every culture, everywhere, forever. It's not until the modern era that it's become this atomized, microscopic personal experience. That's entirely new.
Honestly, for me, the question the dragon is asking is not properly answered by how, but should. And I think kids should not be taught this kind of thing, at least not in class. As Ginger said, it's more, I think, more appropriate that the king, but maybe the king, the children ask questions themselves instead of showing them front and center the thing. So Timmy, let's talk about sex.
Right. Like, I agree with all of you. I also don't think that sex, whether of the homo variety or the standard variety, I don't think children need to be taught this at all. Like, I think that any questions or interest in sex, romance, identity, about what happens around those things should be handled by family and the people that actually raise and rear the children. I think education needs to be completely changed of how we all knew it growing up. I don't like standardized education. I don't want everyone's child being herded into these giant child abuse centers and have their heads filled full of lies by morons who shouldn't be within 100 meters of a child. I think that when it comes to letting your children know about the dangers of homosexuality, the dangers of gender benders, the dangers of drag queens, and these people that have all these problems and diseases and drugs and stuff, that's something that you should warn your children about with all of the other kinds of stranger danger. Your child should only be taught that these aberrant sexualities are a risk. Teach them to fear, just like you teach them that bright colors on a snake probably means it's poisonous. And we all know the meme about, poisonous frog and look at the bright hair.
Actually, it's venomous, not poisonous.
You're correct, sir. You are correct, sir. Which is that's technically correct, which we all know from The Simpsons or Futurama is the best kind of correct. But
you are correct, good sir. Now please face the wall.
So,
yeah,
I have several more thoughts to share on this, but I'll let you guys finish before I talk about it. Anything else you guys want to say or share on this topic?
I've already shared everything I want to say on the matter. Personally, I find the idea of talking about the very idea of talking about sex and children within the same broad topic is deeply uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And
it's kind of very disgusting.
Weird. It's very weird how the leftist and the woke and yada yada have such a fixation about the drag queen show for kids. Like, for me, it screams like danger.
Yeah, well, it's kind of obvious because they are creatures of evil, and when an evil sees innocence, it needs to putrefy it.
Like I thought it was more like it was more about recruiting instead of producing.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I was gonna make a comparison between the orcs of
yeah, but I don't like your voice.
Well, too bad, Frenchie.
Yeah, I'm with Earl here. The Obama Library will be bulldozed when we take our country back. Hell yes.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna burn that anti-white trash to the ground.
The giant black chode.
We're gonna put that Hitler Youth picture to shame.
Oh. Wait, you mean when you say Obama, are you talking about Michael or his lover?
No, not Big Mike. We're talking about Barack.
Okay. Mr. Hussein. Michelle.
Oh dear Lord.
Oh boy.
So I want to talk about.
I'm gonna pray.
Like, I think, like, not only do I think that children should, like, we're talking like prepubescent children here. I don't think you should talk to them about sex. It's not part of their world yet. Like, they haven't developed. They haven't come into that yet. Number two, I think that it's harmful to put sexualized ideas into someone's head whose brain is not hormonally ready to even process what that stuff means yet. I don't think that's healthy. Now, of course, I'm not a psychologist. I don't study this stuff. I'm not into neuroscience. But my gut tells me it's wrong. You shouldn't give sexualized thoughts and ideas to young people whose brains are not ready to even process what any of that shit means anyway. Now, when children get older, like, 12 to 16, they have hormones, they have puberty, they start thinking about dating, they start thinking about sex and masturbation and stuff. That's where the parents and the family and the community come in. Not the state, not the school, not the people who teach your kids how to do math and to read literature. Those people should have nothing to do with that conversation whatsoever. So what do I think the parents and the community should do, though? I think that in a healthier place, in a healthier time, which we hopefully we'll get to one day, I think that the talk about the so-called birds and the bees, not only is that something that I think should be handled candidly and comfortably, I don't think that it should be put on a pedestal either. I think you should talk about it as normally as you would talk about anything that you feel comfortable talking to family about, like your finances, like what's going on in your church, Maybe you have a problem with somebody there. These aren't things that are so taboo you should never talk about them, nor are they something that are so special they should be put on a pedestal. But it's not something that you should teach your children is something you wear as a badge for identity. It's not something that you use as a political weapon. And it's certainly not something that you should talk about openly with strangers. I think that that is how all of this sex and romance and sexual identity stuff should be handled. It should be handled privately, but it shouldn't be, taboo, nor should it be put on a pedestal. That's how I think people who are directly involved in the community and family of a young person should handle these topics. And that's basically what I have to say on that without blathering for too long. Do you guys agree? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think there's something that you should add? What do you think?
I mean, you pretty much said what I said too, just more directly on some parts where I didn't point out.
Yep. I can't, as is often the case, I can't find anything there that I particularly disagree with.
I agree also, and like that what Stumbling said in the chat. Like he said, I'm pretty sure sex education drastically increase teen pregnancy rate, and I think that also it calls to a problem that many parents have, is that they somehow think that the burden of educating their child resides solely on the school. Like school should teach them everything, including sexuality. And I think it's really not a good way and a sane way, a healthy way to think about such thing.
Yeah.
I have to agree with everything that's been said here. It's certainly something that needs to be, it shouldn't be the job of a school teacher who shouldn't be saying such things to your kids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it should be done within the community, particularly the parents, first and foremost. But people close to them should be able to say, periphery stuff on the matter too. And really, more than anything, there needs to be less pearl clutching on the subject too.
Yeah.
People need to understand how this stuff works. They need to stop playing games. They need to stop lying to people about how it works. So,
Yeah,
whatever.
The only type of sex that I think should be in school at all is in like a high school biology class where you're taught about the actual mechanics of sexual reproduction.
Yeah.
That's just clinical information that you learn in biology. I don't think that's wrong.
Yeah, like anatomy things. Yeah.
Having a health class when I was 14 and a freshman in high school, that was really helpful for me.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that helped you. Like my mom and dad were both scientists. They were like, I was raised knowing about biology, and I also grew up on a farm, so I knew what fucking was. I mean, like a lot of the problems of today are obviated by growing up in a rural area and growing up on a farm.
Yeah. I mean, the biology of sex. The biology of sex is is something you learn pretty fast, especially when you're helping your parents take the sheep around, and then you go, okay, so how do the small sheep come from? Well, this is how it happens. Simple. Farming life is the best kind of life. Just saying.
Indeed. Speaking of the best things, it's treasure time, gentlemen. It's treasure time.
Oh, my favorite time.
It is indeed my favorite time. It is my favorite part of the stream.
We
as
had
well.
smoke earlier in the dragon picture, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One of my supporters, that's been a financial supporter of mine for a long time, who also likes D&D and role-playing games and that kind of thing. He has his own classic D&D-like game products called Divinities and Cults. It's a play on Dungeons and Dragons. It's a folk-based, real-world, ethnic and religion-based series of supplements for fantasy role-playing. I'm sharing the link in the chat. And he asked me if anybody who is at least passingly knowledgeable with web design would help him have a look at his website. Like not because he thinks it needs like mechanical work, but he wants a little bit of help to know if it's too bright, if it needs to be rearranged, or if there are some ideas you have about how to change the way the website looks, because he said he looked at it on someone else's device and thought that it looked really bad. So he wondered if somebody with a fresh set of eyes would reach out to him and give him some feedback on what his website looks like. Maybe look at it on a few different browsers, look at it on a couple of different devices, and help him with his front page and help his website look better. You could reach him via his website there for his business, where he produces and sells the gaming products. And I think some of them are even available on DriveThruRPG, if not all of them. So if you like his work and want to support him, feel free to drop him some money and buy his products. And he asked me in PM if I knew anybody that was good with web design. I don't personally, but I thought some of you ought to in the chat might know a thing or two about what makes a website look good and know some basics about web design. So you might want to reach out to him and help him out. Next in the treasure trove, Takumi Tetsuya, an anime fan and follower of mine, also shared something with me that I wanted to share on stream. Let me pull it up here. Actually, it'd be easier if I share it via OBS. So let me plug it in over here. Doopy-doopy-doo. He is a 4chan guy, and he spends a lot of time on 4chan. And he also likes and uses the Go Free lexicon. And he has been having a lot of success on 4chan implementing the key concept words: anti-white, anti-whiteism, anti-white narrative, Western kind, that kind of thing. And so he's posted several screenshots here on Gab to me about how people are getting sick of just naming the Jew and playing the Nazi villain and doing the stupid Groyper thing. How even 4chan is starting to come around now. Many users on 4chan are starting to come around to our way of thinking and speaking about racial issues that white people face today, which I think is good. So these are too small to easily look at on stream, but I wanted to feature them, and I am sharing the link to the thread in chat so you guys can go celebrate with Takumi Tetsuya over on Gab should you want to. So there's the link in PooTube, there's the link in Rumble, and there's the link in Odyssey. Very good. All right. I don't know why the previous one wouldn't post in Odyssey. I couldn't get the Divinities and Cults link to go through on Odyssey. Odyssey has chat problems sometimes. All right. And Ardent says, check DMs. He no doubt sent something to me for the treasure. Let's see here. What do we have?
Ardent brings good memes.
He does.
Okay. That's not bad. I guess I'll share that since you asked me to. Give me just a second. Let me feed this in. Excuse me. There's Ardent's contribution. The real Pepe Le Pew. All right, let's move on now. Some memes we have tonight before we get out of here. Actually, before we do that, let's bring back up the treasure slide because I forgot we need to shill. Mr. Christopher Evrad, as the featured guest tonight, is there anything you would like to shill while you're here tonight, sir?
I'm surprised that we do the chill part now instead of later. I not necessarily have something to chill, but have a small announcement to make that I think I will do something in English related to my book series. It's nothing big, but like a very short story to take the temperature, so to say, on how the Anglosphere might appreciate my work or not. So maybe in the future I will come back with a request for you is to, I don't know, something, maybe a reading or like a more special event, maybe with Ginger, who tried to make an audiobook for me in the past, long distant future. So
that sounds good. I'll definitely help promote that. That sounds great.
Doing an entire book was a bit much for me, I'm afraid, but I could probably do a good reading of something that's a bit more short form.
So yeah, maybe in the future I will come back with something for you, and I hope you will like it.
Mr. Trym, is there anything you would like to shill while you're here, sir?
I can shill two things. My own channel, which is Trym's Artshack. I I do content where I usually draw with my friends, where we talk about a certain topic, either being a character or something in general, called Simply Sketchy. Though that one is a bit of a hiatus because I currently am taking a break because work is a bitch. A lot of other things. Pardon my French. But they were also uploading weekly time lapses, so there's always something coming up on that channel. And of course, every Saturday with Bezic, Fat Dave, Cold Black Cat Painting also, as he's known as, and Bleach Demon, the four of us tends to, whenever I'm home at least, have a weekly stream on Saturday called Sultans of Chatelet. And I recommend you all dropping by because if you just want four guys being angry at the world and laughing and talking shit, that's where you find us.
It's fun the few times I've been there. I like it. If Saturday wasn't my main play games with my friends and family day, I would definitely be there more often.
Well, the invitation stands. If you ever have a Saturday where you feel like throwing yourself into the fire,
oh, trust me, if I ever have a Saturday to myself, I'll definitely be there. It was a blast the one and only time I was there. I had a great time, and the few times I've listened were great too.
How is the Sultan doing, if I may ask, right now? Because I've been there also quite a long time ago.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We've essentially started a new format where each four of us have a topic of ourselves, a little bit inspired by you, actually. Jessica took a little bit of inspiration from you and decided, you know what, we just do that instead, and each of us have a topic where it's either a joke or something more serious. And so far, it's been pretty good.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And always tell Bazik howdy for me. He's a good guy.
You still have a strong audience?
Yeah, the usual audience is still there, and there's a few of them even in chat here. Hello, everyone.
Good to know. Good to know.
Indeed.
Congratulations.
All right, Ginger, anything you'd like to shill tonight, sir?
As is usually the case, I have nothing happening in my neck of the woods. It's one of the reasons why I'm so often free to pop into these streams here for when you are in need of a panelist.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for being here. Mr. 3 of 12, is there anything you'd like to promote while you're here, sir?
Yes, I'd like everyone in the audience to pray for Plasma and his family, because apparently his son had an accident where his skull was shattered, and he's going to have surgery.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, well, they've done some tests. There doesn't seem to be any cranial damage. He's just going to have surgery on his skull.
Oof. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely pray for him. No, I like Plasma. He's a smart guy. He has a lot of interesting things to say, and he's a family guy too. And I've had many good long conversations with him on Discord. He's a smart guy with a good heart. I like Plasma, Rob. He's good. Well, let's do some memes and get out of here. So here we go. Back to the memes. Let's go ahead and start with this one. As you guys know, it was Father's Day yesterday. So I thought I'd share a Father's Day meme. Happy Father's Day to dads and father figures, old and new.
The dad that cost $1 million rees.
The clanker dad. Yeah. All right. Next up, this is the real hero of Father's Day. Is Saint Ploush.
Yes, it is.
Every Father's Day, I watch a video of that event uncensored.
Yeah, same. It's good. It's good. It's good for the soul. Next, we also had Juneteenth recently. On the eve of Juneteenth, remember to spread watermelon juice on your door so the spirit of George Floyd passes over your house and your bicycle doesn't get stolen. I didn't get to do memes last week because of my trip. I had this one lined up for last week, but I couldn't do a DD last week, so I wanted to throw it in this week. I like this one. Here's a post from someone. In Argentina, the far right won. In Ecuador, Bolivia, Chile, Peru, Venezuela, and now in Colombia, everything seems to indicate that the far right will win. Have we fully grasped the gravity of this situation yet? And this quote could be attributed to either picture. And I like this. I thought this was
delightful.
Next
as soon as USA, it's oh my god!
Yeah, boy, that's what I'm talking about. Look at
Oh my
That is
god.
so cool. I love the JD Vance memes.
I've seen stuff about the pool, but I don't have the context or the explanation. What's happening about this
It's
fucking pool?
the reflecting pool is this big, beautiful, shallow pool out in front of the Washington Monument. And it's a very shallow pool that gets water fed directly into it from the river. Is it the Delaware 3? Is it the Delaware River? Because you
No.
live close to there.
No, it'd be the Potomac.
The Potomac, of course, right? The Potomac. And so it's almost impossible to keep free of algae, right? Well, they drained it for like 2 years back when Obama was president, and then they finally filled it back up again. And they were going to fix it up, and they wasted millions of dollars fucking about with it, and they never did anything with it. Well, it got filled back up years ago. And when Trump took, it was either before Obama left office or when Trump got back in, something like, or Trump get in the first time. They put water back in it, and let it fill back up. Well, recently there was talk from Trump and the current administration to actually clean it and fix it all up, and they've been having nothing but problems. People coming in to mess with them. Crazy anti-Trump people coming in to like bother them and like stage problems and attack people there. And this is just memeing on the whole thing of this being something in the current news cycle. It doesn't.
Okay.
It's not a specific reference to something other than obviously a Souls game. But
It's
Okay, I
it's
got
part
the
of a
soul.
broader. It's part of a broader thing of DC. Basically, the monuments have been in a state of disrepair essentially my entire life.
yeah, basically, yeah.
And I live in the area, so I knew what it was like. It was so demoralizing to see all of the great monuments not functioning, and all the fountains have been off for 20 years.
Yeah.
Which is just shocking if you think about it. Like since I was a kid, since like the DC is the world that I grew up in literally did not exist anymore and hadn't for such a long time. I'd forgotten what it looked like.
Yeah, a big part of having a country that isn't dying is having a thriving culture. And if your monuments are being torn down, your celebration monuments and artifice is in disrepair, that's a sign of a dead or dying country. And that's why it's important to breathe life back into this stuff. We need cultural generation for our people.
Yeah. So the Trump admin recently, they drained the pool. They applied a specific coating that's used to prevent algae growth and improve reflectance in pools. And since then, the problem is that it hasn't really taken super well because of the lingering algae in the pools damaging it. There's still algae in the pipes. Obviously, it's when something's broken for that long, you need to do more work to it, obviously, and that's that's just.
Is it like Donald Trump doesn't do his job, or is it nothing?
Actually, he applied his unique background in real estate to do it cheaper and better than the government had ever considered to do.
Yeah.
And then the treatment to the pipes is more standard. Using hydrogen peroxide is a known way of doing this. That's pretty standard. It just meant that more work was required. But
so this is what he meant by draining the swamp, huh?
Right. But since then, there's been 4 cases of vandalism of the lining of the pool since then. People getting in the pool, and since the lining is cracking off, they're just ripping it apart. Now, if you look at it from above, it's noticeable that a bunch of it has been removed. It's sad. And we just live in a country where people feel the need to destroy things simply because you're putting in effort to fix them. Just a great feeling.
And when we win, they all go against the wall.
I wasn't sure how to understand the funny of the thing. Sorry to not be American enough to have this kind of knowledge.
It's becoming a quagmire of its own sort.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. All right, let's move on. Let's get out of here. Let's see. We have, and then God created the orgasm, so women can moan even when they're happy. Next up, the clone dilemma. Well, which Eeyore is the real one? Shoot him. He's the clone. I'm the real Eeyore. The real Eeyore would never pass up a chance to die.
Damn right.
Wow.
That's a good one. I like this one.
Very true. Very true.
And then this is the age of Starmer is over. The age of Orc is now. This was shared to me just a minute ago. By
Oh my god. They really put Diane Abbott in charge, eh? Fucking hell.
That'd be fair. That'd be fair. I would much rather look at the fighting Uruk-hai than Diane Abbott. All right.
Yeah, no one deserves that.
Actually,
would
it's
much
not
rather
an
go with
Uruk-hai.
I like
we
this
was
one.
orcs and shit.
We was orcs and shit. But no, this is funny too. I don't know if anybody likes Airbender or not, but I thought this was funny. And then we have, I like this. This is a screenshot of a DM conversation. Them titties though. This is her boyfriend. Tell her I said them titties though. And he responds with, "Where the fuck do you want to be buried?" In them titties, bro.
Oh, that's
only,
nice.
only truths detected.
Yeah, it's just
Yep.
so funny. I like this one. I'm sure you guys have seen the minimalist meme shit going around, so I decided to include a couple tonight. This was my personal favorite, but then there's also this one.
Oh no! It's that stupid study that they're like ethnically reconstructing memes into
That's
scientific paper.
what started all this a few days ago. Yeah, I caught up on it on Twitter yesterday. And then I like this one. Can I get a ceasefire? Sure. She's not interested.
Not interested.
Yeah, that's really a perfect summarization of everything happening there, isn't it?
Feels like it.
Pretty much, yeah. All right, and then we have Jews claim Israel didn't do 9/11. America starts turning against Israel. Jews start talking about another 9/11. Did you guys see that on Twitter? The absolute checking out of Israeli Twitter. It's been insane. Like,
wow, looks like I was right again. Wow, I'm always right, man. It sucks. It sucks that the world is so predictable that I'm always right. It's so boring.
Yeah.
My Alex Jones jar is about to explode, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah, the jar of Alex Jones was right, is exploding.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and last but not least, to round us out tonight, my dementia patient told me she would never sell me. All right. I had a fun stream. Thank you guys for being here. I enjoyed the conversations tonight, especially about the tech topic. We'll definitely be doing more of those in the future. And
the giant dildo topic.
Yeah, the ocean-powered AI dildo topic, yes. But no, thank you to all my guests for being here. Thank you to all of you who listen and make this happen every week. Thank you very much to those of you who financially support me in the work that I do. I will have more work eventually in the future. I'm still deciding what to do with the rest of my week, and if we are going to continue Empire of Lies or not with Chris. But if not, and if that will be on permanent hiatus, I will definitely start up something else for us to have something to do together every week besides just Discordant Dragons. But for now, it is time for me to say goodnight. Speak the truth to all who have the ears to hear it. Be genuine and keep heart. The future will be ours if we don't give up. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Good night, all.
Bye-bye.